Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. We ended up getting some patch notes for an update that we got for XDefiant not too long ago. I didn't look into the patch notes, but one of the things that was very noteworthy from these definitely had a lot of people talking, so I do want to look over them just to see what else they ended up changing in this recent update. Now, a lot of people did not like the fact that it would take a very long time for you to unlock attachments with your guns in XDefiant, but thankfully, Mark Rubin and his team, they actually got to work in adjusting it so that way it's easier for players to unlock attachments. Sped up the process of unlocking weapon attachments by lowering the amount of XP needed to level up your primary weapon from 3,500 to 3,000 and your secondary weapon from 1,500 to 1,000. This change is retroactive, meaning your existing weapon levels will likely be even higher now. Pause for polite applause. As far as the primary weapons go, I genuinely think it should have decreased to 2,500 weapon XP, but as far as secondary weapons go, I'm fine with this change specifically, but again, for primaries, it should have went from 3,500 to 2,500, but it is what it is. To counterbalance this speedier access to performance-enhancing attachments and provide a greater challenge to the community, weapon mastery level requirements have increased. However, any player who has already unlocked bronze, silver, and gold skins will get to keep them. We're not monsters. I will say, in regards to the patch notes, what I really like about them is that these patch notes for XDefiant, they have some personality to it, whereas if you read the patch notes for any other game like Call of Duty, for example, it's almost like it was structured by some form of artificial intelligence. But with XDefiant, at least I could tell that some human being actually put this together and expressed their personality through them. I did notice that they ended up increasing the weapon mastery level from 100 to now 200, which I'm gonna get into later on in the video because I have something to say about that. They made some additional improvements to the netcode. They improved how quickly your health reacts when being shot, which should reduce the feeling of being shot behind walls. I do appreciate the improvements that they've implemented for the netcode, but at the same time, there still have been instances where me personally and probably a few other players will run around the corner, get behind cover, and they will still get shot through it and then die for some odd reason. If you guys want to check out the patch notes for yourself, I'll put a link to them down in the description so you guys can go and read it for yourselves. But now that we got this covered, let's get into the game. Alright, so let's check this out. 100, 150, 200. Why? I still don't understand why. Before the update released, I definitely did not like the fact that it would take you a very, very long time for you to level up your guns to where you're able to unlock more attachments. It just made using the base version of the gun with no attachments that much harder for you to use, especially when you're trying to outgun players who have far better builds than what you have currently. Are you serious? They really voted Noodleplex over Arena. Like, what? That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, these people just can't stop voting for Noodleplex. I get it. It's a really good map. I get it. But it's like, come on, man. Have some variety. It just doesn't make any sense. Even if they tried to clarify it in the patch notes, there was really no reason to then increase the weapon mastery level, especially if they did intend on releasing more and more weapons for people to grind out later on in the game's life cycle.
I'm sorry, kid, we're fucked.
I hope that dude realizes that by crouching up and down repeatedly, he's gonna get huge aiming idle swing. I've always been against weapon levels going past 55, like for example, Call of Duty. I remember during Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War, and Vanguard, the weapon levels increased exponentially with each game. Like, the max weapon levels would increase more and more with each game, and that was something that I was not a fan of, and as I'm willing to assume, a lot of other people were not a fan of that either. But that's my thing, weapon levels should not be exceeding past level 55, and the fact that we have to level our guns up to 200 to get the weapon mastery level is really absurd. Now yes, for sure, leveling your guns up to unlock all the attachments, while that is good, at the same time, you didn't need to increase the weapon mastery level, especially when you take into account the weapon mastery camos are pretty basic. Now me saying that definitely goes to show that I've gotten so used to getting outlandish camos from the likes of Call of Duty, but even then it's just like, there's really no reason for the weapon mastery levels to increase to level 200. 200, like there's no reason for that. Hell, even if you end up doing really good in some games to where you're dropping like about 50 to 60 kills while simultaneously playing the objective, at the same time, you can't help but wonder, like, how many weapon levels am I actually going to end up getting for making all of that progress in a match? Honestly, dude, I just don't think the weapon mastery level needed to increase, because even though a lot of us did not like the fact that it was at level 100, at the same time, it is what it is. We accepted it, and that was what we needed in order to get the weapon mastery camos. But the fact that they went and increased it even higher is just so stupid. There was no reason for them to be doing that, even though they tried to make it easier for us to unlock weapon attachments for us to get to that mastery level quicker. Now, I will admit, I did make mention a little while ago that I have no intention on getting the weapon mastery camos in this game, but even then, I'm trying to speak for a good portion of the community who was very disappointed at the increase in weapon mastery levels that we got for these guns. It's honestly really stupid that they have to grind even more than originally intended just to be able to get these basic weapon mastery camos. And I don't mean to make that out to be a bad thing or anything like that. I honestly think what we have currently for weapon mastery camos, it's pretty good, but level 200 to get the gold camo, just ridiculous, man. It's just so ridiculous. I wanted to make a video on this yesterday, but we ended up getting some additional content for Marvel Spider-Man 2 that ended up releasing yesterday, in which we got 8 new suits added into the game. I did make a video on it. I'll try to put a link to it somewhere in the corner for you guys to go and check out for yourselves. I only got 1 level for this gun in that game. Wonderful. But then again, I didn't really spend that much time on the objective. I was basically just going for kills, so I can't really get mad about that. But man, the results are just going to be hit or miss regardless. I think the biggest issue that XDefiant has currently is that right now there really isn't anything to grind for when you exclude the weapon mastery camos. As far as ranked goes, the last time that I checked, there happens to be some sort of an early trial that you could play in regards to the ranked mode that is supposed to release for XDefiant at some point. I think it's supposed to release in season 1 in a few weeks. But without a doubt, like, one of the big issues regarding XDefiant as far as the overall sentiment from the community is that there really isn't anything to grind towards or work for. Like, there isn't some form of a prestige system, there aren't any kill streaks, and so forth. Now, Mark Rubin and his team are definitely working on putting together a prestige system so that way players can have something to work towards. As far as kill streaks go, I don't necessarily know how kill streaks would work in a game like this. Because if you ask me, this game doesn't look like it would be suited to have some form of kill streaks like what we have in Call of Duty. The last thing that I want Mark Rubin and his team to be doing is rushing as quickly as possible to get a certain mode or a certain feature out the door for people to then experience, only for us to find out that it's unstable, it's not working as intended, and then we, the consumers, we end up pestering the devs for releasing something that isn't even functioning properly for us to use to the fullest. All in all, the weapon levels and the weapon mastery levels specifically, while I do appreciate the fact that they have now decreased the amount of weapon XP you have to earn to unlock attachments, at the same time, I think it was completely unacceptable for them to increase the weapon mastery level from 100 to now 200. That simply is just, it should not even be a thing. Weapon levels should not even go past level 55 in regards to the max weapon level. It shouldn't go past level 55. But the fact that in this game you have to level your guns all the way up to level 200 in order to get the mastery camos is just so ridiculous. Like, I don't understand why they thought, I just can't fathom why they thought that would be a really good idea to execute. And as far as having something to actually grind for, excluding, when you exclude the weapon mastery camos, I do agree that there needs to be something in place for us, the players, to grind towards, because right now, there isn't really that many people even playing this game. Like, obviously, there's still a good amount of people playing, but as far as those who grind this game, like 10 plus hours a day or something, they don't really have much to sink their teeth into, which is why a lot of them are waiting until season 1 to then get back into this game and see what there is to grind for. I do agree that what we've been demanding from Mark Rubin and his team, we definitely need it as soon as possible, but at the same time, I would also encourage y'all to just be patient. Like, just be patient and just give these guys the proper time to cook. But I want to know from you guys, what do you make of the changes that they made in regards to the amount of weapon XP that you have to earn to unlock attachments, but also what do you make of the mastery weapon levels increasing to 200? Do you like it? Do you not like it? But also, what are some other ideas that you would like to see get implemented into XDefiant for the average player to grind? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to know what you guys have to say. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you're more than welcome to drop a like on it. And if you enjoy this type of content, you're more than welcome to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Discreet, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Protect the zone!